All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I got a very special guest for you. Let me give you a couple of words about my guest here. Leader, author, action, positive. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Kevin L. Brown. I'm sorry, Keith L. Brown. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Keith L. Brown. I'm sorry. I'm tripping.
Yo!
How are you, sir?
Man, I'm empowered, not devoured, man. It's just good to be here with Trailblazing Ty. Brother, let me tell you, man, the word. And to me, you bring forth the word every day, meaning that you bring forth wisdom, optimism, resources, and destiny. So, brother, that's what you do every single day. Wisdom, optimism, resources, and destiny. So shout out to you. Shout out to Chicago State University, brother. I did a lot of work at Chicago State University back in the day as well.
Okay, all right. See, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I love it when they surprise me. I do my homework. They do their homework. I love it when homework is done. Educate yourselves, people. Y'all can learn something. Yeah. All right. Man, I love it, man. I love it, man. And I thank you for those words because, man, you know, like you and I both know, and you've been doing this for a long time. So, you know, sometimes the road can be rough, man. And words like that can take you a long way. All right. But let's just talk about you, man. Empowerment speaker, be empowered, not devoured, as you said before. Man, you look. So many accolades for me to name. I'm just going to list a few, okay? You, sir, are a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Awards winner, okay?
Yes.
Let me just say, a lot of people can't go around just saying, hey, you know what, I won some awards. Yeah, you know, that's nice, but have you won a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award? You know, like, those awards are cool. So can you just tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, man, that was amazing. And I want to give a shout out to my president, President Barack Hussein Obama, who sees the value in those who are doing servant leadership. And it doesn't take your entire life to do that. And so because of my work with educational and social justice and volunteerism, I was presented that award in 2016 at the Georgia State Capitol. Where I'm a director of external affairs in the Georgia Senate. And so I'm an advocate for children, youth, and families. And it's so deep, brother, because I feel so connected to you and the work that you do on behalf of children and youth, whether it be educating them or tutoring them. And what really touched my heart is the fact that I want to take your listeners back to when I was labeled special ed, because you've done a lot of work with special ed students. Yes, and I was labeled special ed all of my life. And so I would be in a classroom of 35 and they would come and put me in a classroom of 5. And I knew that I was small and black and different. But I also knew that I was in special ed because they said I talked too much, I was too hyper, and I didn't want anybody else to answer any questions. And so ironically, those are the same traits that get me booked nationally and globally as a professional speaker, author, change agent. And so it's amazing how those labels and those mislabels in our childhood can help shape our purpose. And so basically, man, I was born in Savannah, Georgia, raised in Jamaica, Queens, New York, spent my summers in Savannah. So I had the North and South experience. But man, I've always been talking. So I've always been putting forth the word. Like you put forth the word today, I've always been putting forth the word. As a matter of fact, I remember teachers saying, Keith L. Brown, you talk too much. And now I get paid to talk, brother. So now I get paid to talk. So that's the blessing in it all.
Okay, hey, now look, but I love the way you connected all of that because, as you said, I have done work in special ed, and man, I love to work with I love to work with those types of youth specifically because a lot of people have counted them out, and I just firmly believe that everyone operates on a different system.
Yes.
I am a firm believer of that. And if you can figure out how to like make what a person has work for them in the regular world, you never know what that's going to take them. And that can like, you know, drive them to, you know, be even more than what they are. They just need the inspiration, which I know you bring. They need the motivation, which I know you bring. And
Yes,
you know, the opportunities, which I know you bring. And man, I'm going to segue into that because like, as you said before, man, you're a change agent, okay? And you, man, you're an author, you're a speaker, change agent, man, you motivate people. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on now, keeping people motivated during these times. Zoom fatigue, if you're on meetings all day, if you're a kid, you got like, you know, this remote learning going on, and just like, you know, people's mental health. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, first of all, I'm doing a lot of work nationally and globally on these virtual platforms, and it can be very draining. And so what I encourage educators and parents to do is to make certain that, first of all, these young people are in a place in their home that can be their home office, all right? And preferably not the bedroom, okay? Preferably not the bedroom. So I would say, I know we all have different living conditions.
True.
And so if that young person only can operate in his or her bedroom, that's fine. But if there are other areas in the home where they can go, get them up out of that bed. And I have this saying that says, from the bedroom to the living room, now that's your classroom. So get ready. From the bedroom to the living room, now that's your classroom. So get ready. So I get these young people, man, and I'm going to tell you, I'm lit. You don't let this silver beard fool you, brother. I'm lit, right? And so I let them know that you want to get them up out of that bedroom. You want to get them in the bathroom, take care of that hygiene. You want to get them dressed just like they're going to school, because there needs to be a mindset. They don't go to school in pajamas, okay? Sure. So get them up out of those pajamas and get them in a mindset where they're going to school. Now, once they're in that area in the home, let them make that area theirs. Like I said, let it be their office. And then when the virtual learning starts, they don't need a lot of distractions in the home. So that's why I ask parents, look, turn the television off. If you're watching television, go to your room and watch television. But we want to set it up so that our children and our young people, it can be an environment that's conducive to learning. And then at the end of the day, I tell teachers, do not start off virtual learning with academics. Start off with social, emotional learning. Start off with that mental health. Check on their mental well-being, their emotional well-being. That's how you start off. And then the next thing you do is ask them to put things in the chat. You got to be engaging because they love putting things in the chat because it makes them feel like they're texting. And so I always, when I'm going to these schools now, I'm saying, put it in the chat, man. And these young people are engaged. They're turning on their cameras. So I don't even have to ask them. They just pop on their cameras because I come with music. You know, I come with that music to get them energized and hyped. I do the social emotional learning. I'll have them in the chat. And then we go into academic excellence. And I tell those teachers, just like they have a bell in school on the hour, give those kids a break on the hour. You know, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You don't want to be 3 hours and there's no break. And so that's how we can do that. We want to break it down because the body breaks down. You know, you don't want them sitting in front of that screen for 3 and 4 hours. Get them up moving, do the cha-cha slide, do the Cupid shuffle, get that blood going. So that's what we're doing. And that will make virtual learning more fun, more engaging, and they will learn at a higher level.
Okay, man, look here. I'm going to tell you right now, you get me hyped. I'm hyped right now. This is serious. Yeah. I'm like MOP Busta Rhymes Annie Up hype right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what I'm going to do after this interview is over, but I might have to go sit down for a second. But anyway, no, man, look, I love that energy and I love that realness, you know, because to me, like the key thing in dealing with youth or just anyone, period. And I talk about social currency as well, you know, man.
Yes.
You need a social currency. How you act, man, that can take you further than any amount of money or anything else you're ever going to demand, your social currency. But I try to like tell kids, you know, all the time, man, you know, figure out another way than just the way you are, you know, taught to figure, you know, something out or, you know, think a certain way. Man, look, sometimes you got to think past that because it's not to go against anything that you learn, but sometimes, you know, you may have, you know, learned something that is only going to get you to the corner when you really need the next state. You know what I'm
Love
saying? So there you go. But man, look, we're gonna stay on you. All right, we're gonna stay on you. So look, you got over 18 plus years in radio, television, celebrity events, inspiring and motivating people. But I want to talk about something that I found very interesting that you do. I want to talk about this Fathers Not Father program.
Yes.
Why is that important to you? And most importantly, I'm pretty sure you work with Black, you know, men or whatever. Why is it important for Black men to attend this program?
Man, this is very important. Actually, this program started off about 4 or 5 years ago because I do a lot of work with Head Start programs. And we know with Head Start programs, there are a lot of young fathers, okay? There are a lot of young fathers, and there are a lot of young Black fathers. And so what I would do is I would find myself mentoring these young fathers, telling them how great they were. And it started, I remember, when I went up to a father and he had about 3 of his children. They were hanging off of him. And I could tell he was a little frustrated. And I came right up to him and I said, man, you're a great father. And I remember him looking me in the eye saying, how you know that? And I said, because if you weren't, your children will not be hanging off of you. They would not even want to be around you because children are drawn to love and light. So the fact that your children are hanging all over you, man, listen, that means you are a great father. Keep doing what you're doing, young brother. And he was like, yo, Unc, I appreciate that. He was calling me uncle at that point. And he had the biggest smile on his face. And it was at that moment, in that very moment, I knew that God had given me something to develop. And the program is called Fathers, Fathers, not Farther. Because just as those 3 babies were hanging off their dad and they were close to him, that's what I want fathers to understand, that you have to be in a position, whether your child is 5 or 25, like my son, okay, who is a graduate of an HBCU, the Savannah State University. That's right, working in the Georgia Senate, doing his thing. But he still wants the same love from me as when he was 5 years old. And so even though he's older, I can't be father, Farther. I still have to be Father. And so we go across the country in school districts and we help enrich fathers. We help build those relationships with their children, letting fathers know, man, you got to be at the PTA meeting, not just your wife. You know, you got to be at that PTA meeting, not just the child's mother. If you can show up for those football and basketball games, man, you got to pack those curriculum nights. You got to pack those PTA meetings. So we give those fathers those tools, man. And we do it by having those fathers say, look, I will reflect you. I will respect you. I will connect you, and I will never neglect you. And that's so important, man. That's so important. And so research shows that Black fathers are the most active in their children's lives on a daily basis, okay? So you know that, brother, and I know that. But there's so many stereotypes out there that said, you know, Black fathers are absent. No, Brother Ty is not absent. Brother Keith, we're not absent. We are there. And so I even encourage the mothers in the Fathers Not Father program. I even encourage those mothers, if you have a man in your life that is nurturing your children, that father that is loving your children, and he asks his son to take the trash out, don't jump in and say, no, the trash is too heavy, he can't take it out, because then what you're going to do is you're going to shut that father down. And now that father is going to want to back away. So as long as the fathers are nurturing and loving and providing that structure, I encourage those mothers, listen, do not shut him down. Don't do that. Because you know what we'll do? We will retreat, okay? We will retreat. And so that's not what we want to do. So we're all about enriching fathers. We're all about providing mentorship for these young men of purpose and these older men. And we're just about connecting them and showing them, even if you're not in that child's mother's life, you might be divorced from the mother, but you can't divorce your children. So that Fathers Not Father program, man, it provides tangible tools to enrich those dads, those men of purpose, you know, on a universal level, but primarily men of color who have been oppressed, suppressed, repressed, and depressed for so long.
Look, Keith L. Brown, one of the words I used was action. Y'all just heard the man. He's about that action. Look, I did my homework on this. Trust me, y'all.
Yes, I appreciate that, brother. Yes.
Trust me, I did my homework. I knew.
Yes, sir.
Trust me. I knew which words to pick. I'm like, oh, no. I'm going to use that word because that's what
Yes, sir.
All right. So look, let's just keep on keeping on, man. Look, as pretty much, as you said, you are a author. And you've written a lot of books, man. But I want to go into this latest book, Not Impossible, I'm Possible.
Yes. Man, that book, the Not Impossible, I'm Possible book is actually a curriculum. And it includes a book, it includes a student portfolio and a facilitator's guide. And really it takes young people and families on a journey from impossible to it's possible, and then finally I'm possible. So the impossible is what we've often heard in our lives, that our goals are impossible. Ty, you can't do that. Ty, why you want to do that? Why you want to go to college? Nobody else is going to college. So then you get filled with all of this negative, toxic information that causes you to believe that your future is impossible, okay? And so what I do in the book is I take you from impossible to it's possible. The mindset, the paradigm shift that, listen, my future, it's possible. Going to college, it's possible. Making something of myself, it's possible. And then I give them tools on how to do that. But this is the key. We can't stay there. So the final frontier is I'm possible. Because when you say I'm possible, then you're taking responsibility for your future. You are accountable for your goals. Doesn't matter what happened to you. Doesn't matter that I grew up in special ed. Doesn't matter that I grew up in a blended family with two mothers, two fathers, brothers and sisters on both sides. It doesn't matter that I lost a brother to sickle cell anemia and a sister to the AIDS virus. It doesn't matter that I was labeled special ed. All of these things don't matter. When I get to that I'm possible, that means I'm at my adult phase. The pen is in my hand. I have to write my own story. So that curriculum takes young people from impossible to it's possible, and then finally I'm possible. And not just young people, but families as a whole, because you have adults in the home that are still operating in the mindset of children. And so it's about transforming the whole family, brother. And that leads to my next book, which is called Talk is Expensive. Brother, talk is expensive, brother. All of our lives, what have we heard? Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Yeah. You know, actions speak louder than words. Yes, actions speak louder than words, but it's the words that move people to action. See, your show is the word. Okay, it's the word, and the word leads to the action. So I show people how to improve their impact, their influence, and their income with that book, Talk is Expensive. I'm talking about breaking down these family strongholds, these negative stereotypes in the family. You know what I'm talking about, brother. That's impacted our mental health. You know, I have a saying that says, blood is thicker than water. You know, because we heard that right. Yeah, blood is thicker than water, brother, but sometimes blood clots, but water flows. See, sometimes blood clots, but water flows. Listen, you have been my water in this interview. You have been my water. And guess what? You are helping me to flow, and you have been more impactful in my life in this interview than some of my family members, brother. So sometimes blood clots and water flows. So if there's anybody who's putting negative energy in your life or putting you down, that's not your blood, that's a blood clot. So all relatives ain't family, brother. So that's what I want them to understand. We have to get in a position to surround ourselves with people in 2021 that are going to affect our lives and not infect our lives.
Okay, man, look here. You know, I'm gonna use that saying, blood clot, water flows, because
use it, brother. Use it.
That is real talk, as they say. That's some real talk right there. Or, you know, as the kids around here, no cap. All right, yeah, because, you know,
word.
Yeah, like, you know, we still want to be, you know, somewhat in the mix now. You know, I don't want to be too far off the mix.
Yeah.
But no, man. Look, how can people get in contact with you, man? People want like to just, you know, talk to you, get copies of your books, or just like, man, book you for events or what have you. How can people stay in contact with you?
Okay, first of all, man, I have the #1 publicist on the planet, man. Adrian Alexander Allen. Listen, they can reach me at Adrian at theipyagency.com, and that's ADRIENNE at theipyagency.com. and that's for bookings. And if you just want to keep in touch with me, hit me up on social media, Keith L. Brown _. You can DM me, you can book me on my social media as well, but Keith L. Brown, KEITHL Brown _ on Instagram, Keith L. Brown, Mr. I'm Possible on Facebook, and Keith L. Brown 1911 on Twitter, Keith L. Brown 1911 on Twitter, because I want y'all to know that Ty is my brother in different colors. This brother's a Sigma. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi.
All right.
He's a member of Phi Beta Sigma, but guess what? We still brothers. So yeah. No doubt.
I love it.
No doubt.
Hey, yo.
No doubt.
Hey. Memorable interview. I can honestly say this is pretty much up there with my memorable interviews. Hey man, I am loving the whole vibe here, man. I'm loving building with you, man. I love your positivity. Man, I've come to my last question, the question that my show's known for. I have to ask, so I'm gonna ask. Mr. Keith L. Brown, I could think of many marvelous words to say about you or to describe you, but what is the one word that best describes you and why?
Servant. And the reason is because I'm a giver of life, and I enhance life, and I expand life. And in doing all of those things, then I'm a servant. And I serve with enthusiasm. I serve with passion. I serve with purpose. I serve with love. But my number one quote that I have is, have the nerve to serve. At the end of the day, man, everything I do, have the nerve to serve. So I'm a servant, and I'm proud of it. I know it, a lot of times it has negative connotations, but it depends on who you're serving. And I serve children, young people, and families around the globe. So the one word that would best describe me to me is servant, and not minimizing myself, but maximizing my purpose. I'm a servant.
Man, look. Woo! Hey. You know, I'm going to tell you the word I'm going to use to best describe you.
Yes, sir.
Knowledgeable.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to use that word. You know, just on your experience, your whole vibe, and just who you are, man. You know, to like, get any type of knowledge, man, you have to take yourself to a certain place. You have to be accepting of that. Once you're accepting of that knowledge, man, that spills through. You carry forth, you spread what you learn, and going forth. You've been doing this for a while, brother. You have affected plenty of people, and man, I'm pretty sure the lessons that you taught them, they've taken out and done to others. So, knowledge, man. That's all.
Brother, virtual hugs to you, man. And listen, brother, I want to thank you, brother. I just want to thank you because you just remind me of, like, these brothers, these griot, they call it the GRIOT, the griot that spreads the word throughout the village. Well, that's what you're doing. You're spreading the word throughout this village, this national village, this global village, man. And just for us to connect and show each other love, let me encourage Black men out there. Love your brother, man. Show your brother love. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you soft, and brothers out there in 2021, start crying more, brother. Because real men cry. Real men cry. Real men show their emotions, and it's about your mental health. And brother, if I may say this before you leave, I have a therapist. I sit on her couch virtually now, but it helps me and my mental health. It helps me to grow. And so, listen, I'm all about whatever it takes to improve and increase my mental health. So we have to stop with those negative stereotypes in the Black community, man. Take care of your mental health and your well-being, and then you'll definitely be able to enrich the lives of others. And you have enriched mine today, brother Ty. So thank you, brother. And I love you, brother. And that's from the bottom of my heart, man. And I love you, brother. Yes.
Man, brother, look here. I appreciate that, and I love you back, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, look,
no doubt.
It's man, look, like I said before, I've enjoyed this vibe. Man, this has been real. I love the organic. I love the natural. And, that's pretty much what my show's about. That's why I came up with the slogan, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. I wouldn't have thought of that if I didn't think it was real. So, my whole thing is I knew I had to build my own lane. They wasn't going to put me in one. So I just built my own lane, and now I'm here, and I am so glad that I made this connection with you as well, bro. So, man, this has been a very great conversation. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Ty Brownlow. This has been Work with Ty Brownlow. Catch me on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Work with Ty Brownlow. Man, go to my website, tybrownlow.com. Get this wonderful interview, plus great interviews. Man, Keith L. Brown. Man, look here. Anytime you want to come back, you are more than welcome, brother. I appreciate you.
Love to come back, brother. KeithLBrown.com. KeithLBrown.com. Be empowered, not devoured.
We out. Peace.
Peace.